Welcome to another episode of Behind the Studs, your home improvement and remodeling podcast, where the two most entertaining guys discuss the do's and don'ts in home construction and in the remodeling industry. Remember that you can nail it, paint it, or just tune into the show. How about that? Here are your hosts, Colin Shaw and Jimmy Driscoll.
That's right.
That's
here we
right.
are again.
We're both here.
Happy Friday.
It's like deja vu, isn't it?
Vuja Day.
It feels like we just did this.
You know what? Felt like we did it about 3 minutes ago. So we had to re-record because the machine stopped. We were on such a good roll, but it just means we're going to have a better one.
Stuff.
It is.
I
It's
know.
awful. But it's Friday. It's the 4th of July week heading
That's
to
right.
us.
That's right.
It is the last episode of the first season.
Right. And then we're going to start season 2 of 20.
And how better, don't confuse me again. And how better is it to have the man who's sitting in the middle of us, the man, the myth, the legend, a name we've all said. It is Joe the Plumber!
Woo! Joe's here. Joe is here.
We started this thing 3 minutes ago, and I got to redo it. I'm a virgin at this point.
What you doing real good? Hey, not anymore, kid.
We just wanted to see if you were worthy of actually recording this. That's what we were doing. So
It was so funny because my running joke when people would go, "Who is it?" And I would go, "It's Joe the Plumber," right? And they knew it was me. And I'm driving down the street because I live in Clinton. I go down, I see a truck, I go, "Joe the Plumber." Oh my God, there really is a Joe the Plumber. And then sure as shit, next week I met you. And we broke bread, and I was like, man, I got to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Because of Joe's vision, his the thought process, where he came from, how he started, where he is today, how successful he is, and what he wants to do in beginning and starting a trade, a school for apprentices, for people to learn how to do this. But we'll get into that, but we're going to start at the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Joe.
Hey,
Joey.
Joe. Thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. So where are you guys located?
We're in. I have 2 locations.
Yep.
Original locations in South Windsor. We opened up in Clinton about 18 months
cool.
ago.
Nice.
So, yep. We have about 18 employees.
Wow.
Work hard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Started the company about 10 years ago.
Wow, that's great. So you've grown quick.
We grew pretty quick.
Yeah. Mostly commercial, mostly residential. What is it?
I would say we started off about 90% residential.
Yep,
Now
yep.
we're probably about 60%. And
Okay.
then we do a lot. We do a lot of things. We, the sewer jet, water department. We have
good.
excavations and that kind of.
Oh wow. Okay.
Commercial, a lot of residential.
Yeah.
Bread and butter is in the residential.
Sure.
Love working with customers and helping taking care of them.
Yeah. We do too.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We do, especially right
Some
before the
days
4th.
more than others.
Yeah. Oh my God. Right? Well, their poop is your bread and butter, isn't it? Right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I said the poop word again.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble for that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Anyhow.
Little potty mouth.
Yeah, potty mouth. Joe.
Yes.
I just forgot what I was going to say. No, not really. Why did you move to the shore? Just more work because it's so busy? Is that why?
It's just a different location, and we wanted to spread out a little bit. And we do. I enjoy working down in what they call the Golden Line there, or the coastline from Brantford to Saybrook.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a good market.
A lot of great people, and you know what I mean. It's just a different market,
Yep.
And I thought that I used to work down here years ago when I was working for a service company, and we would come down here. It was a Hartford company, but I enjoyed being by the shore, and I remember that going from beach houses to and just really, and customers are different, different, and it's just a whole other market, and we've enjoyed it down here.
Cool. Good for you.
I got to tell you though, when I see Joe on a day-to-day basis, I've never met a guy with so much passion. Yeah. I know it's your business. I know it's your company. I'm sure behind closed doors we all get stressed out and stuff like that. But you got such a good even keel. There's another great thing what he has too. He has great software that he carries with him all the time. And he showed it to me one day. He goes, so these are the guys that are working. These are the guys who just finished. It's all graphed out. I'm like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
It's all graphed out. This is where they are now. This is where now we can get paid out here. These guys are starting this over here. I was just like amazed.
Now, do you put a chip in their head, or
I
what do you
tell you
do?
this. I benefit from good employees that kind of like they force me to do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I was talking. the predecessors, the plumbers that my predecessors, the fathers that that taught me by plumbing, they didn't have a big threshold for me to have to jump over. They were the typical, they're stereotypical, showed up late, didn't show up on time. You're lucky if he shows up. You know what I mean? And so when I came into this business 10 years ago, and in a bad economy, and I was pretty scared. It was just me and my wife and my 2 kids. And,
sure, that sounds like me. Yeah,
and it was here I was in a bad economy, and you know what? All I needed to do was just take care of the customer.
Isn't it so simple?
The threshold. I mean, all I had to do was show up. To be honest with you,
it's very funny you say that.
That's all I had to do, and then they were amazed to see people show up.
Yeah, same exact thing for me. When I first started the company, I had a partner, and we were down in Fairfield County area. And, you go into those houses, it's a $1.5 million house. They've got a couple of ceiling tape joints that need to be fixed. You say $700. I go, whoa, we're going to need three. We're going to need 3 estimates for that. I'm like, really? So my wife was like, just work up here. And I said, well, what goes on up here? It's not that busy. So I ran one ad, and it was in the Penny Saver, if you ever remember the Penny Saver from many years ago. And it was a full-color ad right on the back page. And all I had to do was call the people back, show up, and then for the estimate, then give them an estimate, and then show up for the work, and I got it every time. Right. Just by answering the phone and calling
that's all you got to do.
It's business to me. It was business 101. I mean, that's the easy part, in my opinion, but it seems to be the hard part. And
it is.
Yep.
It is hard.
It is hard. And there's
trying to keep in touch with them and all this. I have to honestly admit, I've missed a few of them, and this is the first year I've ever missed a few of them.
Yeah.
I haven't got back to them. I don't have a secretary. It's me in my office, which is my truck, till I get home. And then, how we do it. We get back home and we're doing our proposals and estimates. I mean, there was one point where I was just inundated with calls for 1 week for like 3 kitchen installs. And I know I missed one. And I did call back, and the other one I couldn't even get to. And it's just like, I'm embarrassed about that. I really am. I wish I had a better system, but I could...
there's a shortage of tradespeople. I mean, that's the thing. It's just a shortage of average plumber's 58 years old.
No kidding.
Average plumber's 58 years old. What's going to happen in 6 years from now? The system worked really good. I mean, I was lucky. I went to technical high school, and
awesome.
I got lucky there. I mean, I wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, and I came out there, but I worked hard. I worked hard and worked with a couple of good companies that taught me. One of my predecessors is, he taught me everything I know. You know what I mean? And in construction,
great.
and I was very lucky to have that. That's not there today.
I know. I don't know what happened to the trades. I mean, it's all of a sudden now everybody's like, I don't want to be in the trades. You know what? You can make more money in the trades than you can.
You definitely
doing
can.
a lot of jobs that you got from college.
You have better job security in the trades now than you do in corporate. You do.
Absolutely. I tell anybody, if you got a kid between 12 and 20 or 30 years old, and you want to try to figure out something else in life, tell them to come talk to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm really
trade.
We talked about this before.
That's what I want to talk about, Joe. Let's talk about. There's 2 things I want to talk about. First of all, before we get into that, where we're at right now, I'll save that thought. The reason why you're in this business, and the reason why where you are today, is because of your past, when you started out as a kid.
Right.
And that's important to get across first. To the next point that we're going to get to is because. You said to me when we were breaking bread over this, you said, when I was in, you can reiterate the story. You weren't going anywhere. You were coming out of high school. You were kind of being maybe a dropout, or you had no direction.
I had no direction at all.
Right? And who told you said that you're going to go nowhere? And
it was one of my tech teachers told that to my mother.
Really?
6 months prior, I told that to my mother, and it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't a good kid either, so let's not say, let's not put bells over my head and halos.
Nobody was looking at me when I graduated high school thinking I was going to be a stellar star in
Still
any way.
ain't.
Yeah, exactly, right?
What bothers me is now, I didn't go to college, and I'm happy I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
I wasn't a college kid. I wasn't a school kid.
Why waste the money?
You give me a hammer, you know what I mean? I come from a French family. All my brothers and sisters, I got my uncles, we all grew up, they were in the carpenter unions.
Yep.
I mean, sheetrockers, tapers.
Sure.
My brother's a framer.
Yeah.
I got another brother's a sheetrocker, taper.
Beautiful.
It's in our blood.
Yeah.
So if somebody gave me a hammer and said, hey, to go knock some wood together, I probably would have liked that, But what they did is they pushed kids towards college. And,
right. Yep.
My own kid, I love my son. He's 18 years old. He's going off to school next year.
Yeah.
It's a $200,000 bill to send your kid off to college.
Yep.
He's got 2 in.
I got 2 in.
I got 22-year-old apprentices that are making very good money. They didn't have to pay to go to college because I paid their apprenticeship fees and their schooling.
Yep.
And I tell you what, they don't have a college, and they save their money. They work hard.
Yeah.
And they can buy a house at 22 years old.
Absolutely.
Very easily, they can buy a house and do what they want, and and they're so young. They're 22.
Right.
Imagine,
yeah.
this whole industry is changing. It's but what it is, it's all about is training the kids. There's no training out there for these kids, and I hate to say it, and nothing about the state or the government.
Right.
It's just not working anymore. It's broken.
It's
not.
I mean?
So
we put millions of dollars into school systems and into higher education, and these teachers come back and tell their students, "You got to go to college. You got to go to college." You know what? You don't have to go to college.
No, I agree with you.
People get left behind because of that stuff.
Absolutely.
I was just lucky because I got lucky. You know what I mean? I got lucky.
You worked hard too, though.
I worked hard. Met some good people along the way that took care of me, and so I really believe I got to give that back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said that I got another plumber that works for me. He's just as good as I am, my age. He's I said to him all the time, we have to protect our state. We have to. It's broken. What's happening here is broken. I want to figure out a way to get it fixed. There's and right now in Rhode Island, I think you go to a plumbing school or HVAC school for 2 years, and you get a 2-year apprenticeship out of Rhode Island. Well, the state of Connecticut, what they do is they honor that 2-year apprenticeship program. It's 4 years to get your apprenticeship, which I got no problems with that. Then they come into our state, and our state gives them 2 years. So now they only need 2 more years, and they're a plumber. Our own state don't give our high school kids or any kid that comes out of tech schools. They don't. Our state of Connecticut doesn't even do that for our own people in our own state.
Yeah,
But, we have to train properly. I really believe that there's, we can partner up. I mean, I have a decent sized plumbing company. I'm not in competition with anybody out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's so much work out there.
Yeah, you do your thing.
All you gotta do is show up, like I said. Partner up with other bigger plumbing companies. Let's do internships. Let's get some kids that really train them. How
Great idea.
What I want, you give me a kid that knows what a tool is and knows how to use it, or I can work with that.
Sure.
You know what I mean, and that, give it. It's got to be fixed. It's not working right, and I really believe I have some really good ideas on how to do it. I want to talk to the state. I want to talk to other people in governments and higher education, because there's money out there. Because there's a lot. There's money out there for these kids.
Sure, there is.
And if it's done right, you know what I mean. If it's done right, and I'm really passionate about taking about this. It's a.
So Joe, would you, if it came down to it, would you do it almost like a nonprofit type of thing, or would you do it?
It would be a college. It'd be a hybrid college atmosphere.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It would be whether HVAC, electrical. It would be. It won't be. It won't be an inexpensive school either. It's not. It's not a Lincoln Tech or a Porter or Chester. They're great schools. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But they're 10 grand, 15 grand. You're not getting the training you need. You're getting the hours for the schooling, which helps me out as a company because I don't have to pay for that if you go there.
Yeah.
But you still really don't know that much. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
you're just as green as somebody that came out of Lincoln Tech or not. I mean,
sure.
I could train somebody in 2 months and give me the same thing.
Yeah, working with you side by side is going to teach them way more than they're going to learn.
Exactly.
And they're going to learn the basics.
They need to be out. They need to be out in the field.
But I want, you got to partner up with Rigid and Milwaukee and other plumbing suppliers. So we have to, partner up with these companies to train our guys. You can go to these super mechanic schools and BMWs there, and they're specifically trained for that stuff.
Right, sure. Why can't they do that for plumbing?
Why can't they do that for plumbing? About, you know what I mean? After about a month or two being in the school that I'm talking about, now I partner up with other plumbing companies and you internship.
Beautiful.
Half day, you're going with Macca Plumber for 3 days. You're going with Advanced Plumber. You're going with Joe for 3 days. And you know what? It's an apprenticeship. You pay it would have to be paid.
But you ain't go with Jimmy. Don't go with Jimmy.
Not go with Jimmy.
No,
don't go with me right now either.
I grab the wrench, and I think it's the wrench, and it turns into a wand, and everything I touch turns to shit. Ding, shit, ding. I cannot plumb for nothing. I can turn the water on. That's about it. I'm done. Oh my God.
When I went
Terrible.
to plumbing school, I had to wait in line. I had to take a number to get a class.
Wow.
And now there's nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, they keep cutting it. They keep cutting the different trades in the tech schools. I just don't get it.
This is what bothers me. This is why I'm even getting more passionate about this. I opened up my business in Clinton. I went to a few of the local high schools, And I went to the guidance counselor and went to the department. I left my name at one place, and I called and left a message at another school. And I said, "You guys got any kids that want, summer? It's almost summertime. This was last year, and not one person returned my phone call. Not one person. These are kids that I'm paying. My kids go to high school, and I have guidance counselors. You know what I mean? You're telling me there's not one kid in your school that could benefit by working with me for a summer.
Right.
I promise you, I would make that kid, if he wants to work hard, and he's a good person, I can make him a very successful person.
Sure.
I think
Absolutely.
you need. I think what you need, because you need a one-on-one with the guidance counselors in the schools. You need to work. You need to get to that point.
Right.
I could probably help you out in one school that I know. Get you in to sit down with the guidance counselors and you do your pitch.
Right.
And once you get them and they get them on board, because they're seeing these kids now. My guidance counselor wanted me to be a merchant marine. I'm like, I don't want to be out of merchant marine. I don't want to be a merchant marine. Well, would you know?
Boy.
Sure as shit, my neighbor, my kid Tommy Collins, who I grew up with, he went and became a merchant marine.
Yeah.
Now he lives in Hawaii. He's got like this big, huge house, makes a lot of money. But there's drawbacks on that too.
Sure.
You're 6 months out on the ocean.
Exactly.
You can't really have a family.
Nope.
Who's going to hang out, wait for? Yeah.
It's real hard.
But he's been around the world so many 100,000 times.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be. I still don't want to be a merchant marine.
No.
No, I'd rather be a plumber.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
The trades, there's so many good trades. It's not just being a plumber.
Sure.
You know
No,
what
I know what you're
Sure.
saying.
to learn a trade, you're going to work for the rest of your life. You've got a skill, you got a talent
Correct.
that's always going to be in need. The whole automated, life that we're walking into here. That's not going to be the case for plumbing and for electrical and stuff. I mean, there'll be tools that'll make it easier for us, sure, but you can't substitute.
I agree. The millennials, and I like the millennials. I used to think the millennials were lazy. And people would say the millennials are lazy, they're lazy.
That was me.
They're video game players. But you know what? They're pretty smart, actually.
Oh, they're very smart.
And they may not have the same, I don't want to say work ethic, but drive in the work, you know what I mean? And maybe the trade fields or the fields out, but what they lack in they're in their mind and what they can do with. I'm on a podcast.
There's a plumber.
Two monkeys can do this. Don't worry. It's not that
Two
technical.
monkeys can do it.
Yeah.
But they're figuring it out. I know this one guy is a millennial kid, 25 years old. He's got 6 employees working for him. He owns a water company, and his oldest employee is 37 years old. They call him the old man.
The old man, right? Yeah.
He found doing water filtration. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Found a specialty.
Yeah.
He grew up in the Fairfield, Greenwich area. I don't really know his entire background, but I'm assuming he went to the schools in the Greenwich. He went off to college and came back after college and realized, holy cow, man, shit, there's fucking money made here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he didn't need to spend all that money in college.
And so, he specialized in one thing, water pumps and filtration, and now next thing you know, he's got over $1 million a year company.
Yeah.
So, the millennials are going to figure this thing out. I mean, whoever thought that the biggest, hotel company wouldn't own a piece of property, Airbnb.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Things are going to change. I don't put it past them someday to, if we don't do it right, or I don't put it past these millennials, give them a blueprint. Here's a blueprint. And Amazon someday is going to come and say, here's all your pieces, A, B, C, D.
Yep.
And that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I see that coming. I mean, the millennials will find their way in here, which is good.
Sure.
We need their help too.
But the millennials also need that 37-year-old guy to help get the work done.
Correct.
So they may be the ones sitting in the office or something, but you still need those other guys to actually get the work done.
Yeah, they need to, exactly.
So,
Well, I got to tell you, when I built Mohegan Sun when I was in the union, I mean, they had that, like you just said, the blueprints. And Mohegan Sun is not built with a lot of steel. The steel is on the top of the building, but it's mostly tension cables and rebar. So what they did is they built the floors on the ground with like 5 engineers standing over the guys who were tying the wire and the rebar, the thick rebar. And they had to be tied and they had to be in strategic places because that's where the holes had to be where they were going to drive the pipes up. Mm-hmm. So it all had to all match. It was a puzzle that they had to fix in. And what they did is once all the rebar was in, it was all checked and tied. It was amazing watching this. The crane came over, picked up this huge slab, right, and they twisted around, and they would slide it in like a shelf on a shoebox into the building, into this big empty square.
Yeah.
And they put it in, they lock it in, and then they would pour the floor. They pour the floor, and then from there, where they poured the floor, the plumbers would have their blueprints. And they go, okay, 5 feet to the left, 6 feet to the right, 28 feet from center. Boom, there's your hole. Then they bore it, boom, and there's where the hole was.
Right.
You know, but there were times where they had to go in and they had to cut some cables. You know, just for some alterations because things change, as we all know, and stuff like that. And they added stuff, and it was just an amazing feat that somebody thought of that. You know, as a matter of fact, when I just talked about how they made the floors, how they after they tied them and they had to crane them and they had to bring them up and they would slide them into this empty box, which was the building, Mohegan, and then the crane would go over on the other side, drop the cables in. Once the floor had set, they pull the cables into the room and snap on the cables, and they pull the form out the other side, which was amazing because the first floor is down 18 floors. Okay, the crane is way up, so it's leaning over and it's pulling all this weight out. So we all stopped to watch him pull out this first floor. I didn't realize this, but the cranes that are made and the way they're supported, they can list 30 degrees, and this crane was bowed like an arrow, like a bow and arrow.
Really?
We're watching it. We're like, oh, my God. Now, they all figured it out. The engineers figured it out. They all had it all calculated, and they pulled that first floor out. And everybody, all 400, 500 people that were there, all workers, we all clapped. We were amazing. And guess what?
What?
It was engineered by a kid from Old Lyme.
No
He was
kidding.
35 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
His father was an engineer, too. I forgot the kid's name. But
Wow.
he figured it out.
Damn.
That was something.
Damn.
And you plumbers, man, a lot of work, a lot on your knees, huh?
A lot on your knees. Your back goes out. You know what I mean? And, you know, when I said, when I went on my own with my wife, and I said I didn't want to be one of those plumbers that die. I've seen too many of those guys. They're 70 years old. I see them at the supply houses. Their hands are all, You know, I didn't want to be that person. So I've been very lucky to be given a very good opportunity of what I do, and I really want to pass that on to the younger generation. We have to protect the trades, and
I mean, I think, and Jimmy knows how I feel about the state of Connecticut. Not a big fan.
No.
I'm wondering how that actually, happens here in this state. If we can get anybody that cares.
Yeah.
To show a little bit of concern for it too. I mean, I don't know if they even, the lawmakers that we elect, I don't even know if they realize how, what a shortage we're getting of, electricians, plumbers.
I got a guy.
Hey, we got state colleges. Why don't we have state trade schools?
There you go.
Well, I got a guy.
I mean, we have the high schools. They don't work. You know that 98% of the kids that go to trade school don't end up in the trade they were in.
Why?
Really?
Why? What do you think?
Because it's broken. It's broken. The system's broken. The I don't know. I don't know why. When I went 30 years ago, it was like 75% of kids did, or like 15 or 25% did end up in that trade.
Yep.
I thought that was low.
Do you think it's because of times have changed so fast because of instant gratification? Because they don't want to do the time?
Yeah.
They come out.
Well, think about it. When I went to technical high school, there was the only reason I got in is because my mom knew the priest knew the principal, and that's the only reason I got in. My mom went to the principal and said, the priest and asked the principal, and that's how I got in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't get in the first time. There was a waiting list, or there was a lot. You had to take a test to get into tech school.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, it seems like everybody gets in. I don't think it's really hard to get in, and and then it's hard. They don't have teachers.
Right.
They have a plumbing teacher at Prince Tech for almost a year, 2 years.
Wow.
I apprenticed, and I apprenticed two kids from a technical school, for 2 years now. They've been working for me. When they're on shop, they get to come work for me for a couple days a week. They're great kids.
Yeah.
I want to give back. And they're good kids, and but they're not like the rest of them. Because I asked them, I said, "Do you have any other kids that really want to do it?" He goes, and they're teachers. So I've been apprenticing one of the kids for about 3 years now through one of the technical schools, and 3 years. I mean, tell me how many times this teacher has called me.
Really?
I've actually called him 2 or 3 times, left messages.
No, heard
I
that.
said, what I mean? I said, look, the guy doesn't call me back.
Yeah.
He doesn't even watch. He's not even watching. He doesn't even know if he's working.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's
2, 3
crazy.
years. The teacher never called me. And I would think he would, he would have reached out. He's his top kid. I mean, this kid's a really smart kid. He's actually going
take an interest in your students. They can go a long way for them.
So So how much are they really caring? So it's broken. I think the teachers are tired of seeing it. Heck, my wife works for the city of Hartford. She's a teacher at the city of Hartford.
Is she really?
Hartford Public High School. And you know what she tells me, I couldn't imagine what she sees on a daily basis.
No.
And
There's no money.
There's no money.
There's no money.
And these kids they're rotting. Their brain. They're rotting. We're letting it's sad. It's broken.
Yep.
It's broken. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yep, I agree with you.
It's got to be fixed. And I said, I was reading Popular Mechanics a couple weeks ago, and how some the trades are going to be increasing by 20% over the next 10 years. The highest paid trade right now is plumbing. I think it goes electrical and then HVAC or one of the
Sounds
two.
about right.
Yeah, I think it might be HVAC then electrical.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty close.
What's it about a year? They make about $62,000 a year.
Yeah, coming out. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
Coming
crazy.
out.
$62,000 a year.
Coming
Right.
out. Yeah.
That's
I mean, plumber. You're $30 an hour by the time you get your license in 3-4 years.
Yep.
So you get overtime, and
Sure.
You're easily making $100,000. You do a little side work if your company allows you to do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If your company, but that's what happens. You know what I mean? You could easily be making $100,000 a year at 22 years old, and you know what?
Yeah.
You don't have a college education to pay for.
Right.
You got to show up. You got to go to work. That's the one thing you got to do.
But Jimmy also said you take very good care of your employees too. You offer benefits and stuff too.
You have to. You know what I mean? You have to. It's hard to keep a good plumber. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You have to offer that stuff. And it's you got to do it. And I enjoy doing it. I want, hey, listen, I came in this world with nothing.
Yeah.
And, I want to leave this world with nothing.
Yeah.
I tell my wife that all the time. I says, I want to give it all back. My job is to have nothing on my way out. My kids can figure it out themselves.
There you go. They're fine. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah. Have a life insurance policy.
Joe,
for that part.
you give a lot, which is a
great.
testament, and it's just like you're a really wonderful guy. You really are.
I've been lucky along the way. I'll be honest with you.
But you're a hard worker too.
And because of that is what we is why we're here. Is what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love what I do.
Do you really?
To God,
Really?
I just love what I do. Come and dried up tomorrow, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably be homeless. I'd probably be homeless.
Wow.
Well, speaking of homeless, do you know why I became a carpenter? Do you want to know why?
I don't know how the two of these come together, but let's go.
Well, I was a rock and roller in the
Right.
city. I was working out in Long Island. I
Yeah.
was doing tech work at the Palladium and working in the nightclubs.
Yeah.
But that wasn't all the time.
Uh-huh.
And then I was putting in replacement windows in the city, and that was just absolutely freaking horrible. Horrible. I felt like I was in the movie Spartacus. It was so freaking, oh my God. It was tough, hard, back-breaking work. But then I said, I want to learn how to trade. You know why? Because I wanted to eat. I really enjoy eating.
Yeah.
And, being a rock and roll star, whatever, trying to be a rock and roll star, you're eating, you don't eat well. You're starving a lot of
Ramen.
times. It worked good because I was the singer in the band, so a lot of girls wanted to take me out for dinner and stuff like that, which worked out great, But at the same time, listen, I'm not going to mooch. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to figure it out. And I did. Yeah. I did what Joe's vision is. I made a phone call. I found it in the paper, and I said, listen, I don't not even read a tape measure, but I said, I'll be there on time. I will be there every day. I want to learn, and I'll give you an honest 40 hours a week. And he goes, you're my guy. See you on Monday. And it worked out great. I learned so much from this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a kid come into my office about 2 years, a year and a half ago, and he came in my office. He was working at like Town Fair Tire, changing tires, doing oil changes, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He walked in, he goes, and I was at the office that day for some reason. I heard he came in, and he goes, I'm working mechanic, and I'm 22 years old or 21 years old. He goes, I've done a lot of research, and I decided he wanted to get into a trade. I did a lot of research, and I realized I want to get into the plumbing trade. Do you have a job? That kid got a job that day.
Wow.
He got a job, and he's still working for me today.
Is he really? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kids out there.
There are
kids
They gotta
out
make
there.
up their mind.
Yes.
And
Make up their mind.
And guys, it's not that hard anymore. It really isn't. The tools and materials, mechanically inclined does definitely help. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That helps, and hard work. You know what I mean?
Right.
But lazy, I can't help lazy.
You can't help lazy.
I
No.
can fix stupid. I can't. I can't fix lazy.
You are the wizard.
Yeah.
Well, this was. I'm so glad you were on the show today,
absolutely.
man. I'm really, very, very excited you were on the show, and just we've broken the stereotype that all plumbers are stupid or drunks, and like painters are all drunks, and
your pants fit fine.
Well,
pants fit fine. You got no crack,
Right?
You got no crack, dude. No plumber's crack.
I got one thing to say about that, and I'll never, not about the plumber crack. That's just a stereotype. But when I was younger and I was a plumber, we were always looked down upon. Especially,
sure.
We were looked down upon, and doctors and lawyers. Hey, you're all nice guys, you know what I mean? But you go in a room with them and have
She's
beers.
just a plumber.
You have beers with them, and they're not really, you're just a plumber. I'll never forget. I was probably about 30 years old, and I'm in a lawyer's office in Hartford. And he was in his office. I went to go get paid, and it was there. I don't remember what it was, but the bill was like $700-800, whatever it was. And he looks at me, he goes, "Holy shit!" He goes, "You make more an hour than I do." And I looked at him, I just smirked, and I said, "Huh, that's kind of funny, isn't it?" And I took my check and fucking walked out of there.
Right. Absolutely.
But that's changing now. You
It
know what I mean?
needed to. It needed to.
This is not. You know what I mean? It's a very respectable trade. The trades are very respectable.
Yeah.
Nobody looks down. I don't let nobody look down on me no more.
No,
they
no,
won't.
no. And I love it when I pass by. Like I'm at a house and they're cleaning out the septic system, and the guys are sitting there in their chairs and stuff, whatever, with the big hole going down. I'm looking at them like, you guys make so much freaking money. You're making more than I am. I know you are.
You told me that, Colin. You told me that story about the time you went to this house party, you're surrounded by stuffy assholes.
Yeah.
And they looked down at you and they said, "So what companies do you own?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm remodeling handyman stuff." Like, oh.
That
was it. Everybody just kind of turned away. I'm like, "Look, all right, sorry."
But that's,
But
that's what they're teaching their kids, and that's what the teachers are teaching the kids.
Yep.
I'm paying $200,000 to send my boy off to 4 years of school, and you know what's happening is they got out of school, and then these teachers. They were taught by their teachers in college. And it's a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar,
absolutely,
organization. It's huge.
Oh no, it's
and they all drive each other. You know what I mean? And you know what? And they keep. What I hate about it is I go to a college, I've been to high school graduations, and they always talk about how many kids go in the military. Fucking everybody claps.
Yeah, absolutely.
They talk about all the kids that go off to college. Everybody like, whoo, it's 86%, whatever percentage you're making. They're all proud of that.
Yeah.
They don't talk about the other kids, the other 30% you guys left behind. You forgot about those fuckers.
Yep. And then you're not supposed
to. I
to.
get angry thinking about it.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm with you.
I've seen too much lately. I've seen, it's too much. It's gotta be. It's horrible.
I agree with you.
You got to find that right. You got to find the right kid, the right girl, the right kid, and wonderful kid who was basically changing oil in a car, and he worked for like a Shell station or whatever, and he just learned how to. He was changing oil. He was a young kid, and then he would just peek over and he would look at the mechanics working on the engines and ask questions and just watch and observe. And then 3 years later, he's taking Porsche engines out of a car, taking it apart and putting it back together. Yeah, and that was just a kid who that's the kind, that's a gift. My first boss, my first construction boss, still a good friend of mine today, and he said, I was like 26. I was, I wasn't the nicest person in the world. I was, I wasn't even, just not even married yet. I wasn't the nicest, but he came to me and he knew I was a good mechanic. He saw the potential in me, and I was drinking at night, smoking too much weed, all that kind of, hey, it is what it is.
Right.
And he came to me, I was the type of person you didn't want your daughter around. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but he goes to me, he goes, Joey, he goes, first of all, you got to be a good person to work for me. Second thing is, if I need to get off my ladder, I don't need you. He goes, and if OSHA allowed me to put wheels around my ladder, you'd be pushing me around the house and the building.
Wow.
And I learned from that day on, I better be 3 steps ahead of this guy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that one thing, and I stopped being an asshole, and I started working hard, and next thing you know,
look where you are.
I became a good plumber.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Great story.
It is.
Great story.
It is. So I do challenge anybody out there that knows lawmakers, or if a lawmaker actually watches us, which I wouldn't think
I know one.
Just contact us. And talk to Joe, and let's try to figure this out. Let's try to figure out how to get these kids, that are being forgotten, into the trades. The trades are a great thing.
I want to send an email to, Mike Rowe from the Deadliest Sketch there.
Yeah.
He's big into the trades, and he knows
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
I was watching something after the elections. He was on CNN. I don't even know what he was saying. It was just he goes, he says, in the next 5 to 10 years, the plumbers, the electricians, and the mechanics are going to be bigger and better, or going to be bigger than the doctors, the lawyers, and they're going to be making more money than the doctors and the lawyers.
Yeah, because there won't be enough of them.
There's not going to be enough of them.
Right.
So
NYU.
Mike Rowe, he's got a lot. That guy, he's got a lot of contacts. You know what I mean? I would love to talk to him and bounce off my ideas.
Mike, call.
There you go,
Yep.
Mike Rowe.
just
catch, right?
behind the studs.
Behind the studs.
Just contact us. We'll put you in touch. Yeah. Hey, NYU. There's this big philanthropist that figured out a way to pay for all the doctors' medical costs. So most of the kids that are going into the NYU program now don't have to pay anything back as long as they become general practitioners or certain types of doctors. Because everybody now is going into specialty like dermatology and stuff like that because they can make a lot more money. So they're losing all of these general practitioners. So this guy figured out a way to get the money rolling and paying these people, paying their education to go for that.
Wow.
And give back.
That's what we need to
And
figure
give
out
back.
for the
So
trades.
we don't have to be all the way over there on that side of the scale, but definitely have to be there. So somewhere.
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys,
Yeah.
man. This is actually
Sorry, you
interesting.
just got me riled up too. You're infectious.
Infectious, yeah.
I tell you, I
I
knew
get
it was going to be a
passionate. I
great
get
show.
passionate when I start talking this shit. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's in my blood.
That is, brother.
And I'm all about the kids too.
We got to
give them a chance.
We got to fix this generation, man.
We do.
There's too much devastation out there, man. My wife sees it every day at Hartford High School.
Yeah, I can't imagine. My wife teaches special education, but but not in the cities, so I can't even imagine. I know what she goes through in these smaller towns. I can't imagine over there.
You know what I mean? And, it's broken. Why not help these kids, man?
Yeah.
It's something we got. We help everybody else out. Let's help these kids, man.
Absolutely, it's time to do it.
Yeah.
So well, thanks very much for coming on, man. We really do appreciate
No, I
it.
appreciate having me. It's quite
Jimmy's been
interesting.
talking you up for a while, so it's good to finally get to see you. Everybody, next week is the start of season 2. We are going to have the Rogue Engineer on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't know him, which you should, Google, watch some of his YouTube videos and stuff. He's very amazing to watch. His show is done beautifully.
Good.
Just the editing and the producing and everything else, just amazing. So it'll be a lot of fun to have him in here, and he can kind of teach us how to get from
gonna be here.
where we are to where he is. No, he's going to be.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's going to be calling in. So
Good.
looking forward to that, and I'm leaving. I'm going to the Caribbean.
Nice.
Are
Have
you
fun.
really?
I am.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not coming back, man. Come down to the show here, man. You're not coming back here.
You're
With
welcome.
that stupid bumper clad, you stay up there in Connecticut there. You bring down the Joe. You show him how to do it here, Joe.
You both are welcome anytime.
He got a good copper pipe, I tell you.
All right, everybody.
All
We'll
right.
see you next week. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
See ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye.